What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Thomas back again with another rendition of Truth Be Told. Now, this past week, all we saw on the political front, the big news, they keep trying to bring indictments against Trump, which is all bogus. It's all been proven already, so I don't know why they keep trying to do it. It's just ridiculous. It's redonkulous. One thing they did was they tried to throw this whole, oh, there's aliens in the, you know, government knows about aliens and working with them, all that kind of shit. Which, if you're not an idiot, you know that fucking the governments around the world are speaking with other beings. It's just a fact. That's not BS. But it's kind of convenient that they throw that out when, all the crap that's going on with Biden and Hunter Biden. You know what I'm talking about. They're just, the puppet masters are trying to do a ring around the rosy on the American people, and people aren't buying it. Now, I'm not like this huge Trump supporter or anything like that. If you watch any of my past videos, you know I'm not a political guy. I hate politics. I can't stand it. It's, you have bad politicians on both sides. You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. So, I hate politics. It's the people that's supposed to be running the country, not these politicians and the way they think things should go. And then you got the rich leftist lobbyists throwing shit tons of money to get what they want out of these politicians. But they also added a couple of shrills for the crime Biden family. That fucking, what's his name, Heard, ex-CIA agent, and Christie. They're both talking shit on Trump. He's trying to avoid going to jail because he did all this shit. No, he didn't. They're paid shrills. They're not real Republicans. They're rhinos. They're backed by Soros. So, whatever. Anyways, that's all I saw of big news. Except for, we also came out with that Russell lady in Alabama who claimed that, a couple white supremacists kidnapped her and some kid that they spent days searching for. And it was all a hoax and, another Smollett shit. And they gave her a slap on the wrist. It's just, they're fucking redonkulous, dude. It's just gotten ridiculous. They're not holding these people accountable for their crimes. But yet they want to go after innocent people all the time. Let's get on to what I really want to talk to you about this week. I just watched a movie called, a new movie called Cobweb. This is kind of like a horror thriller type movie. So anyone who has not seen this movie and wants to watch it, I'm going to talk about this in length. So spoiler alert, if you continue watching, you may get some spoilers. Because there's a lot to unpack here. First of all, I'm going to tell you right now, the movie actually had me interested. Talking about some boy hears shit in his walls and he don't know what the hell's going on. He wants to find out what's going on, you know, why he keeps hearing this crap and voices in his wall. So I was intrigued. I figured I'd check it out. Now it stars Tony Starr, which is the guy who plays Homelander off The Boys. If you know what that show is, I think he's a decent actor. I just think the show The Boys, you know, Seth Rogen he's basically a pedo, and fucking, you know, he's put some nasty raunchy shit in that show, which shouldn't be done. Anyways, regardless of that, the actor's a decent actor. And then his wife in the movie is played by Lizzie Kaplan. I don't know who that really is. I don't know who she is. But anyways, the story basically evolves around their sons, and I don't know, he's probably about close to 12 years old, between 10 and 12. He's bullied at school. The teacher gets involved in his shit, you know, wanting to know for whatever reason. You know, I don't care what school you're in. I almost guarantee you 99% of the time, no teacher is going to get involved in a child's personal life unless they think they maybe might be abused, like if they saw, you know, bruises on them all the time and shit like that, or they acted strange, you know, they're making serious, they're doing odd behavior and stuff like that. But it's very rare. It's not as, you know, like this movie tries to make it like it's a big deal, and it's not. But anyways, she gets involved in him, and it's nothing. One drawing where he writes "help me," and it wasn't even about him saying "help me," and you know, him being bullied. That's it. But yet she has to get involved. Now later on, I'd say a good 3/4 into the movie, he does push another kid down the stairs and kind of break his leg or whatever, and you know, she gets a little concerned what's going on with him, but you can tell he didn't mean to. I mean, he meant to push him because the kid was bullying him and pushing him on the playground, that kind of shit, and pushed him down, so he thought he'd push him back. But he did it when he was going down some stairs. So, I mean, it was kind of screwed up. But he's like, oh shit, I didn't mean to push him down the stairs, you know. Just knock him down, you know. But anyways, so there is that. But that's it. That's the only violence he does in the movie at that time. But it was because he was told to stand up for himself. You know, stop being a wuss. You know, he's got to stand up to bullies, that kind of shit. Now, he's told this by a voice in the wall, his bedroom wall. And the voice goes and claims that it's his sister. It's a girl. And she claims that she's his sister. And he's all like, I don't have a sister, you know. And she said when she was born, she was locked up. Their parents locked her up, but she escaped and got in the walls. And then they found out that she was in the walls and locked her in the walls. And that he needs to kill them get this key that unlocks a door behind this grandfather clock that will let her out of the walls. Now, there's also this deal where they bring up this little story about a girl that got kidnapped years ago before he was born, and she disappeared in the neighborhood. Well, the sister claims the parents did it, and then they buried the corpse in the garden, and tells him to go look for himself, dig it up. So he digs it up, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, you know, my parents killed this kid, and they abused my sister, and you know, they're doing all kinds of crap to her." Well, he ends up poisoning them and killing them. And then, they're like, as they're dying, they're like, "Don't let her out, don't let her out. You don't understand. You don't understand what she is." And they went and he went and let her out. And then, you know, she doesn't really try to kill him. She tries to lock him up in the wall that she was in. Said that their parents locked her up because she was born deformed. And, you know, she had to learn to fend for herself, eating rats and bugs and shit. And that she's the one who actually killed the little girl, and that's why they locked her up. I mean, that's part of the reason. But anyways, so he ends up killing them. The little kid that's a bully, he gets, I don't know, like a supposed cousin and a couple other dudes, which are like high schoolers, and they all come over to beat up on the kid, and it's like Halloween. But when they show up, they're in for a surprise. You know, his sister ends up killing them all. And it doesn't show her face till almost like the last 5 minutes of the movie. And they went and they did this CGI distorted face, made her look like this giant evil smiley face looking creature. I was like, get the fuck out of here. And she's crawling on all fours like a spider and climbing up walls, and she's got giant long ass fucking razor sharp fingernails that she's cutting people with. I'm just like, come on. And like, she's super strong. Like, she whips them little, you know, those high school boys like they're nothing. I'm just like, get the fuck out of here. It was really disappointing. It was almost like the monster reveal at the end of a Stephen King movie. You know, oh my gosh, not another giant creature or an alien, you know. That's, you get what if you've ever watched Stephen King. But anyways, it was just redonkulous. And then, you know, his teacher, this black chick, she comes in there, you know, "Oh, I'm a badass. I'm going to save you," you know. And she's had like 2 or 3 chances to go get help. Call 911 or something. She doesn't do it. She keeps going back in the house, you know, trying to fight his sister. And she's going to be a badass and a boss bitch and save his ass. I'm just, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. And it's just, that part was ridiculous. Anyways, in the end, you know, he hangs her by her hair, and the black bitch, she fucking beats the fuck out of the sister. They don't kill her. They lock her up in this pit and chain her into the pit, and she says, "I'll survive, I'll escape," and you'll just wonder if that sound or that movement or whatever when you're sleeping at night if that's me coming to get you. And that's the end of the fucking movie. I was just like, okay, whatever. And the monster reveal was just dumb. His sister. You know, I mean, I could understand if she was nuts and his sister, you know, they had her chained up or whatever because she's a little bit deformed. But they really went all CGI, made her like she's like this mutant spider creature. And I just, get the fuck out of here, man. It's so dumb. One of the questions I have was, what the fuck? She tells him that she's been waiting for him to grow up to get her out of there, out of the walls. I was like, oh, you've been waiting 12 years for that motherfucker to grow up to get you out of the walls. Bullshit. Bullshit. She could have talked to him anywhere between the age, you know, anywhere from like after he turned 5 years old or older, you know. I was like, get the fuck out of here. You've been waiting 12 years to talk to him. I don't think so. And then the parents act like when he first tells them that, you know, he's hearing shit from the walls, they're all like, oh, it's nothing. It's an old house. It's just making noise. Yet they know all about her. Like, what the fuck? Second, if she got out and killed the little kid, how'd they get her back into the fucking wall instead of putting her back down in the pit, you know, they had for her in the basement? That makes no sense either. It's like, what the hell are you talking about? You know she's in the fucking walls. Because later on in the movie, he keeps claiming that he's hearing her talk to him. And then she's like, he's all like, you hurt my sister, blah, blah, blah. And he's all like, what the fuck? Where is that bitch at? And he's going down the walls in the hallway looking for her in the wall. Beating on the wall. Dude. What the fuck? That makes no sense. One minute you're claiming there's nothing there, and next minute you're looking for her. Yo, the woman, they both were, his parents were nutty as fuck. They picked a good actor to play his dad, because he can play a psychopath pretty good. Anyways, the teacher shouldn't have gotten involved as far as I'm concerned. There was no point in the teacher being involved in this movie whatsoever. And the fact that, yo, it had to be her that comes in there to try to save his ass instead of someone else makes no sense. It literally doesn't. They just needed someone who could come in and save his ass. So they could have chosen somebody else to do it. Not this stupid black boss bitch woman. It was just dumb. It was a dumb character. Anyways, the movie was pretty decent. You know, I didn't think it was his sister until you later find out later on, before she's shown what she's looked like, that it's his sister. I actually thought there was something else going on. I thought the parents were just batshit crazy and were serial killers or something. But no, it's the sister. But anyways, it was good up until like the last 10 or 15 minutes when she's doing all the killing there at the very end. Other than that, the movie was okay. So yeah, the movie's not that bad until you get to the last 10, 15 minutes, and then you're just, whatever. It got stupid. So I give it a thumbs up and a thumbs down. You can check it out if you want. Up to you if you're a really die-hard horror fan. Like I said, good luck. although it fell flat at the end for me. Let's get on to your B movie reviews. Okay, movie-holics. This week is Sci-Fi Week. Now, during the 80s, they had this thing where they were doing like a shit ton of B-rated apocalyptic movies for sci-fi. There was just a ton of them, a lot of them. The 90s did something similar. They focused on like cyborgs and androids, robots, you know, in the 90s. In the 80s, it was apocalyptic movies for B-rated films, and there was a shit ton of them. First one we're going to look at, it was done 1984. It went straight to video, so there's no box office numbers on it, and it's called Warriors of the Apocalypse, and starred Michael James and Deborah Moore. Couple no names. Anyways, of course, you know, there was a nuclear war after World War III. And you have some guys running around in the wasteland, wandering the wastelands. And they come across this other group of guys. They wipe them out pretty much. And then they meet this guy who claims comes from this almost like a paradise village or whatever up in the mountains with tons of food and women and all this other crap. Purified water. So they decide to follow him. When they get there, they get to this village with all these women and food and tons of trees, and they're worshiping some type of, I don't know, like it looked like some type of Aztecian like god symbol on top of this huge rock above this cave entrance. Now they try to make it where these women look all fancy him and want something to do with him. But I'm telling you right now, most of these women were not good looking, and including the so-called queen, played up by Deborah Moore. She wasn't, you know, like really good looking or anything. They were all about average. Anyways, they all want to sleep with them for whatever reason, is to try to reprocreate. and you know, they claim they want to try to repopulate the earth and all this other shit. Now they have this old man with them who's a doc. They call him Doc. He finds out what's really going on. That for whatever reason, there's this main guy plus the queen, and they helped build this facility in the caves, and they got a bunch of workers in there, slaves, who've been radiated, so they're kind of mutated. They're sick and dying because they got machines in there underneath the cave or the mountain that produces all the food and shit like that, and it produces a lot of radiation, but it also gave them some type of powers and made them pretty much immortal. And the only way they can stay immortal is if, you know, the machines in the mountains stay running. The doc tells the leader of the group, played by Michael James, you know, what's going on. So they end up having the big fight at the end. The woman, the guy dies, and the women that were in the village, they all join him and his little merry band of guys from the wasteland and rebuild the village. They're going to rebuild the village at the end of the movie, after it's all blown to shit, because they were using the queen chick or whatever. She was using some fucking like ray weapons from like this chair, like stone chair and shit, and it was just redonkulous, but it's supposed to be part of the machine in the mountain. Anyways, that's what was going on at the end of the movie. Now, I thought it kind of funny that they're walking in the middle of the desert at the beginning of the movie, supposedly, and they're all wearing these thick ass leather outfits. I mean, you could tell they're really thick, and they're complaining about water and shit. I'm like, I fucking wonder why. You're probably all burning the fuck up. There's no way you could survive that long in the middle of the desert with that type of clothing. It's ridiculous. But anyways, the acting was very mediocre. I don't know. I almost fell asleep in one section of the movie when they like first get captured and end up going to the village. They try to escape at some point and they get recaptured again. It's just, I don't know. Once they get to the village, the story just moves really slow. It just kind of dragged out till you get to the very end, like last 10 minutes when they do all the fighting. It wasn't the greatest film at all. The acting was okay. Like I said, mediocre. And I don't know. In some places it sounded funny. Now, I read that it was supposed to be, it was partly shot in the U.S., but also done in the Philippines. So I don't know. Sometimes foreign films are like that. It was just, yeah, I give it a thumbs up, thumbs down. It was okay. The story wasn't, you know, the greatest. The acting wasn't the greatest. You know, if I had to rate this on a scale, I'd give it a 3, maybe a 4. You know, it's barely watchable. Okay, moving on to your next one. The next one was called Clash of the Warlords, or AKA Mad Warrior. It was done 1984. There's no box office numbers for this. Went straight to DVD. This is also a Filipino movie. It starred Anthony Alonso and Jennifer Kirkham. Now, when you think of B movies, I'm telling you, this is fucking B-rated. I'm not kidding. Everything's dubbed, like the voices were all dubbed over. I'd rather watch a dubbed movie, like even if it's from like, you know, China or Japan or something. I'd rather watch a dubbed movie than try to read subtitles, though. Honestly, I can't stand trying to watch a movie with subtitles. I'd rather it be dubbed, even if the voices don't match. But the dubbing was just as bad. It was not good. The acting was, oh my gosh, it was bad. It was not good acting, hardly at all. I almost turned it off. It was pretty bad. The acting was bad, but I watched it anyway. There's one scene where they show a road and they're running away from the so-called warlord and his goons, and they're chasing him down a road, a dirt road, and they stay on the road instead of getting off the road, you know, and going through the hills or some shit. They stay on this road. Like, come on, you're running from these guys. Why the fuck are you staying on this road? It's so dumb. Anyways, the story is you have this guy who's a warlord, and he looks dumber than shit. He's this tiny little dude. And the costumes were bad. Oh my gosh, they were terrible. Like these black leather costumes with little studs on them. It was just whatever. And the bad guy was the worst. You know, he had like this half helmet that went over his face with spikes on it. Okay, whatever. You know, spikes like in a mohawk. It was just silly looking. He had this little rat tail coming off the side of his shaved head. I was like, okay. Oh my gosh. It was just hilarious. Anyways, and he's nuts here. He like has this scene where there's a full moon. He's going nuts. Thinking he's changing into some werewolf or some shit. What the fuck, man? This is weird. Anyway, the story's about this one fighter. This warlord has this stupid arena or whatever, and he likes making men prisoners or whatever fight each other. But you have this one guy who they killed his wife. They killed his wife, and then at the beginning of the movie, he tries to escape with his son. He still had a son, and the warlord was allowing his son to live because it kept this guy fighting. Well, this woman helps him escape, but they end up killing her and his son. And this other chick shows up who was like undercover at this encampment, helps him escape. And then she takes him to this other camp, warlord camp or whatever. There's another warlord. These two factions been fighting for a while. Anyways, he decides to help them out by going and attacking the warlord by himself, though, not with the other dude's army. So what the fuck? That makes no sense. Anyway, he shows up there to fight them. He wants to fight the main guy, the main warlord. The other army shows up eventually, after he has to do some fighting with this other dude that's from the other encampment. And some other guys the warlord chose to try to kill him. But he ends up killing them instead. Well, the other army shows up and they get in this big old fight. And the warlord tries to hide down in this underground cavern. And he goes chasing after him. Now the woman, the blonde chick that helps him out, her daddy's part of the other group. And it was just like, okay, whatever. He's like the scientist. Well, the Warlord, he busts out this fucking, I shit you not, he busts out this fucking stick, big fat stick, and on the end of it is a piece of red tape. And then he like, boop, and then you see this glowing red ball, and then it turns into a lightsaber. And the dad, or not the dad, but the girl, you know, her dad invented a stick just like it, except for it's blue, and she hands it to the main guy named Rex. He turns it on as this blue lightsaber. So they have fighting with these lightsabers, and I'm just like, get the fuck out. It was cheesy as hell looking, these lightsabers. But they fight. He ends up killing the Warlord, of course. He hits him with the blue lightsaber, and the Warlord just blows up, you know, into like all kinds of tiny pieces. So yeah, the guy he blows up, incinerates him with the lightsaber, and he just nothing left of him. This movie was crazy. It was pretty bad. It just so cheesy. But most foreign films are. It's just, this one was really bad when it comes to the sci-fi crap. The last part of the movie is the best part of the movie, to be honest. The last 10 minutes where they're doing all the fighting, that was really the best part of the movie, to be honest. Anyways, I can't recommend this to anyone. You know, I give this movie 2 thumbs down. The acting, all that shit, it was bad. It was super cheesy. I mean, just in case if you're a die-hard sci-fi apocalyptic movie fan, you know, you could go ahead and watch it. But I'm telling you right now, it's not that good. Anyways, that's all I have for you this week. If you have any thoughts about what I talked about earlier in the video, do you plan on going and seeing the Cobweb movie or whatnot? Let me know down in the comment section down below. If you can think of any underrated films or B movies that you think I may never have heard of before, please leave your suggestions down in the comment section down below, and I'll get to reviewing them as soon as I can. So, until next time, I told you you'd be told the truth, and you just been told.